Good morning, lovely souls. How are you all today? I hope you're well. I've got to say, it's such a dark, grey day here today. It feels quite chilly. It's not too chilly for what I want to do today in terms of seed sowing, but oh my goodness, that beautiful sunshine on the 1st of April, we haven't had it back since. We've just had rain and more rain, and we're due some more, so I really just want to push on and get these seeds in the ground today. It's funny, you know, in that video at the end of March when I was talking about motivation, well, today it's definitely one of those kind of days where I would far preferred to have stayed indoors doing things. I don't know, I think I ache from head to toe for no apparent reason, so I don't know if I'm just coming down with something. So the plan is to get all the seeds sown today and then treat myself to a couple of hours off this afternoon, curled up on the sofa with a couple of gorgeous browsy books. Actually the two, and this is my motivation for today. One, I need to do the seeds, they need to be done, get them done. Two, the sooner I do them, the sooner I can get home and curl up with my gorgeous books. And the ones I'm going to be looking at today, I should have brought them to show you actually, never mind. But I had the beautiful book on trees for Christmas from Richard and Paul, thank you. And I also recently had another Alice Fowler book, which I thought I had, but I don't, unless I had it and then lent it to someone. But it's Alice Fowler's book called Abundance, which is her book on storing and preserving produce. So I think it'd be a really good one for me to have a bit of a little browse over now, so that I can hold some ideas in mind for later in the season. I don't tend to struggle with storing and preserving my produce. You know, I've practiced it for a few years now, but it's always great to get more ideas, especially from someone like the gorgeous Alice Fowler. I really like her work. So yes, that is what is motivating me to get on with the garden work today. And hopefully the garden will work its usual magic on me, and by the time I come to go in a couple of hours, I won't want to go. So what are we doing today, says she, rifling through her seed tins. Today it's all about, where is everything? There we go. I've got some carrots in here. I'm looking for parsnips. Where's my parsnips? I need to have a proper look through. So the idea today is to get my carrots and parsnips done. And speaking of Alice Fowler, I'm going to try my leeks the Alice Fowler way this year, which is to direct sow them, which is going to feel so weird because I've never direct sowed should I say parsnips or leeks? I meant to say leeks. I've never direct sown my leeks before, so this is going to be entirely new for me. And also new for me this year with the carrots, I'm going to try, I think it was Debbie, I'm so sorry if I've got your name confused. I'm going to try Debbie's technique, which she told me about last year when I struggled with my carrots because we got so hot and so dry really quickly. So once I've sowed them, they're all going to have a bit of a plank laid across the top of them, which I'll just keep peeking under over the coming days until I see that they've germinated, and then the plank will come off. Likewise for the parsnips, it's a technique Gary uses every year. He always has great parsnips. I'm going to copy people who do good veg. Yay! Right then, let's find all these lovely packets of seeds and get out there on this miserable grey day. Come on. So to prepare this bed, I have had to fork through it. It's so compact, the carrots wouldn't stand a chance otherwise. Oh, I can't reach that long. Bit of a rake over. Keep finding stones and having them out. And then I'm just going to make my 3 carrot drills now. Ideally, I'd use a draw hoe, but I don't have one. the side of the rake will do instead. How wonky is that? And then to hopefully give them a better start this year, I'm just going to fill these rows in with stone with a bit of compost, just so they've got something to get their teeny tininess into. Will I get 3 rows in? Yes, I will. 3 straight rows? Maybe not. And still great pods keep coming, and stones. Then once I've got the carrots in and covered, I can come back and make drills between for the leeks and spring onions. So yeah, at the moment these drills, they look quite deep. They're obviously too deep for carrots, but like I said, I'm going to pop a bit of compost in the bottom of each one just to give them a little something to help them start. And these beds, both the carrot and the parsnip beds, have not had any chicken manure. They prefer an unmanured bed to grow in. If you've got manure in there, you're going to get a tendency for your carrots to fork, which, well, it doesn't really matter, but it's just not quite as much fun pulling out a forked carrot as it is pulling out a gorgeous long straight one, is it? Right, let's get some compost in. A bit much. Spread you out. Right, well, I've got all my seeds ready. I thought I had everything so well organised, but I had to go fishing. So, in terms of carrots, I've got my good old favourite Autumn King. Such a great carrot. This is what, I grow it every single year because I get great big, really tasty, strong, tasty carrots. But also they're perfectly happy to sit in the garden throughout the whole of winter. How great. I don't have to think about getting them home and storing them somewhere at home. So they're always going to be one of my carrots. Also got, these were given to me last year and I didn't ever get around to using them. I'm just trying to see if there's a use by. I can't see it, and they're going to go in anyway. I've got some scarlet nunts. So I think I'll try to get 2 rows of Autumn King, and then with these others, about 1/3 of a row each. Just because I don't know how they're going to be, and I rely on my Autumn Kings. But the other ones I've got are lovely. I've been sent so many little bits and bobs of seeds this year, it's great. This is a rainbow mix. They originally came from Premier Seeds, great company, and Little Finger. They're both organic ones as well. So let's get sowing. Oh, and then between them for the leeks, I've just got a few of my leftover Musselburgh leeks from last year, and I was also sent some North Holland blood red spring onions, so I'll have a row of each of those between the carrots. But for now, let's get these beautiful carrots in. It feels like it's going to tip down today. We're not due any more rain today, but I think it's not a day for hanging around and being tardy. Such teeny tiny seeds, and it's sod's law. Let me get this packet open. Sod's law that when I even think about emptying them out, the wind is picking up. You see, such tiny seeds. Now I'm going to sow really thinly anyway to save me thinning out later on, and by thinning possibly attracting the carrot fly, but also because there don't seem to be a huge amount of seeds in this packet this year. I normally feel like with carrots there's hundreds of seeds, but seems a little bit empty this year. Might not get 2 full rows. Well, that's barely done, 1 full row. That's very disappointing. Okay, just give us ever such a light little firm, and then draw a little bit of the compost back over them. I give them a little bit of a wet and then put the plank on them. And then give them a check every couple of days to see if there's any signs of life. And of course, I should have watered. Oh, that's a stitch. I should have watered my drills first. Never mind. And now to find some planks. Not exactly a plank, but I think it'll do. Doesn't do quite the whole length, but well, let's see how it goes. It's high today, I can hear the seagulls. Okay, I'm find another one in a second. But now, make some drills for the direct sown leek and spring onions. It's going to take me a minute. Let me get my drills sorted. This is going to be another very thinly sown crop this year. This is the leeks. Just because I've got so few seed left, I'm going to do half now in half the row, and then hopefully the other half in a few weeks' time. So I've got a bit of a succession going on. And I have to say, this feels really very peculiar. Normally I would start my leeks off indoors at the end of February, beginning of March, and then I'd be dibbing holes to twist and wind their roots down into and pop them down. Yeah, very, very odd. But if it's good enough for Alice, it's good enough for me. Listen to the birds today, it's gorgeous. As always. Right, I need to go and find some more compost to cover them with. I'll do that in a second. But in the meantime, let's get these spring onions in. Now, I don't know why, but I've never grown spring onions before. Isn't that bonkers? You know, they should be fairly easy to grow. You know, I honestly don't know why they've never been on my radar before. I mean, they've been on my radar, but I've just never gotten around to sowing them. But these would be lovely if they're anywhere near ready around a time when I'm taking out my first salad potatoes. Oh yeah. Right, well, this is the beginnings of the parsnip bed. So the carrot bed's all done now. Carrots, leeks, spring onions. Time to get the parsnips in, and for this parsnip bed I'm going to be sowing my tender and true, which is what I've used over and over and over again, and they have generally come good for me. These are the ones I got for myself from Chase Organics, but then I was very kindly sent another packet. These are from Premier Seeds Direct. So I think what I'll do is I'll do one row of each, just to see if there's any much difference. And then for my final row, I've got some beautiful half long Guernseys from Richard and Paul. So fingers crossed for them all. And then, as usual, between my 3 rows of parsnips, I will have 2 rows of calendula. Right, let's get sowing. And I've got to say, stumbly legs again today. Hang on, I'm just taking my gloves off because I'm always more dexterous to do my seed sowing, packet seeds in there, without my gloves on. Yeah, I had planned to do all sorts of other sowing today, flowers, brassicas, what have you. But to be perfectly honest, I'm starting to feel a bit bleh. So I think let's get this bed sorted and then think about going home. Now, the thing about parsnip seed is it is one of those seeds that really you want to buy fresh each year. I did try it a couple of years ago using some older seed. Someone said to me, oh, it's just a myth. And I used the older seed and got absolutely nothing. And it was in a year when my rows of good seeds did great for me. So exactly like I did with the carrots, all I'm doing in this bed, I'll get the seed in. Oh, I've forgotten to wet it again, never mind, do it afterwards. Just give them all a little bit of a firm and draw the compost over them. Like I said, I'm just using this little tiny amount of compost in the drills just to see if that can give them a little bit of a head start in my soil, which is still, despite everything, it's still really quite heavy. When I come to do the calendula in the rows between the parsnips, I won't put compost in for them because they would literally grow out of the top of the dustbin if that's where I put them. It's getting darker by the minute. The wind is picking up. It feels like we're in for a storm, so I'm going to hurry up now. Well, this is going to be the last job of the day for me. Spitting with rain again, but also my knees aren't enjoying the cold and damp. So, calendula. Actually, let me give you a close-up look at this. So, when I'm gifting it to friends, I do sort the wheat from the chaff, as it were. When it's just me, for keeping for me, I just knock it all off and just pop it in a jam jar. I don't bother sorting. And then it could not be more simple. I'm usually pretty liberal with my calendula, saying just whack it in there. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Like I say, I'm not going to treat it to compost. It doesn't need it. If I stuck one in the side of my ear, it would grow there. They absolutely are not fussed where they go. I'm getting a wriggle on because I'm sure that rain's coming now. And I need to sort my shed out a bit. It's a tip. And then I'm just literally going to pull the soil over a bit with the dibber. Honestly, nothing fancy pants, nothing accurate, nothing measured. Just chuck them in and watch them grow. And what's lovely having done or doing this today is that later on this evening, after I've had a nice warm bath to warm me through again, I will be lavishing my skin with a load of calendula oil, and I think of all the calendula I've sown today. Hurrah! Love it. Actually, this is the earliest I've sown it. Yeah, I've never sown it this early before, but I'm taking my cue from nature because all the the self-seeded stuff is coming up, so that tells me it's warm enough to get going. Brilliant. Need a bit more, don't I? Good job I've got pots and pots and pots more. Oh, some of it's exposed, doesn't matter. That'll do. Woohoo! The air is thick with damp. I think it's only a matter of time before the rain comes, but it's just getting heavier and heavier out there. I don't mind, but I think actually I'm going to call it quits for today. That kind of damp, it sort of gets into your bones, doesn't it? Especially on a slightly chilly day like today. So yeah, I think that's a good little session. I've got a few things to do before I go home, like oh my goodness, I need to sort this shed out. It is a pigsty. Never mind. So that's good. Carrots, leeks, parsnips, spring onions, calendula, all in. It's great now. Along with the onions and the spuds, that's 6 of my 20 little mini permanent beds are now up and running. Yes, as I was mentioning earlier, oh excuse me, there must be a cat around, I'm itching. I had planned, I was actually planning to stay longer today and start off my brassicas, a load of flowers, but 2 things. I thought I'd brought lunch with me and I haven't, and my tummy's grumbling, and secondly, it is that damp and the chill is getting inside me and I don't like it. So, that will be the next time. Hopefully, in a couple of days. I know we've got more rain coming. It's those April showers for the May flowers, isn't it? But hopefully I will see you all again in a couple of days, getting the brassicas and the flowers sorted. We'll see. So for now, I'm going to say cheerio to you all. I hope you're managing a little bit of garden time, whatever the weather is up to where you are. And if not, do like I'm about to do this afternoon, curl up on the sofa with a gorgeous book about gardening or cooking or something to get you all inspired for the next day. See you all soon. In the meantime, take care of yourselves.